Läküräwa, once called harmless herders, now a deadly terror group in northwest Nigeria. Contrary to official reports, Läküräwa first arrived in the Gudu and Tangaza areas of Sokoto State 6 years ago, following calls for self-help by some members of the communities. But a police investigation at the time concluded that the armed group known locally as Läküräwa were merely herders and not violent. Although the police suspected the group was heavily armed, they described them as seasonal visitors from the neighboring Niger Republic. Earlier this week, however, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters declared the so-called herders a new terror group affiliated with jihadis in the Sahel. The Läküräwa were herders who suddenly turned militants in the wake of the Malian crisis. Their presence in the communities along the Nigeria-Niger border in Gudu and Tangaza areas of Sokoto goes beyond the search for food and water for their cattle, which they had been doing for years. Around October 2018, about 200 jihadis arrived in the Gudu and Tangaza area of Sokoto from across the border in Niger. Locals says they are herders, light-skinned, speaking Arabic and Fulani languages. Now, this video you're about to watch, you will hear what the Arewa Consultative Forum professor has to say. Let's watch the video, my country people.
Welcome back. Concerns have been raised about and around this new terrorist organization, Läküräwa, in the northern part of the country, especially the northwest region. And there's been loads of movement in terms of the military hierarchy. 2002, we had this issue of Boko Haram, and then they went into full swing somewhere around 2010, and we're still struggling with the impact. And then at some point, there was a splinter group called ISWAP, or ISWAP, as some people choose to call it. And now we have another terrorist organization on our hands. What is going on as far as this is concerned? So we're being joined by the National Publicity Secretary of Arewa Consultative Forum, Professor Tukur Mohammed. He joins us via Zoom from Kaduna State. Prof, thank you so much for coming on the program. Hello, Prof, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. I can hear you loud and clear. So, Prof, let's begin with what you are seeing in the region. We've had statement from the GHQ, the Defense Headquarters. We've also seen that the CDS has been called upon by the Kebbi state government to say, look, something is going on. People are being killed within our zone or our area. We've also had the issues that are going on in Sokoto as well. So maybe just a quick overview, because this is new to a lot of people. We're familiar with Boko Haram, ISWAP, and then Läküräwa has joined the fray. What is going on?
What is going on, I think, is an escalation in the insecurity situation, especially in the northwest part of Nigeria. Actually, Läküräwa is not a new group. About 2018, 2019, they appeared in Tangaza local government area, which is close to the border with Niger. The security forces, or at least we thought the security forces had gotten rid of them. They disappeared. Only now that we think progress has been made in tackling insecurity, they now emerge, and they have seemed to have emerged with ferocity. As you know, about 3-4 days ago, they murdered about 15 people in Mera town in Kebbi State, specifically in Argungu, in Augi local government of the Argungu Emirate. Now, what we have found, they are also in parts of Sokoto State, and it seems that at first they seem to be attacking the bandits that have been there. But of course, their methods are the same. They want to impose a strict Islamic, their version of Islamic codes Forcing people to wear beard, forcing people to not to sell or smoke cigarettes, and all kinds of things. And they seem to be well armed. So it's alarming in general because they are new, and the reports suggest that they may be affiliated with some Islamic organizations in the Maghreb or the northern Sahel. So overall, we see it as an escalation of the terrorist activities in this part of the country. And it's very alarming because, like I said, it seems that the army has been having some successes in Zamfara State, which has before now been the epicenter. But the emergence of this new group is a thing of worry. One would have thought more than just announce that the defense headquarters is aware of their presence. One would have liked to see a report that they have been decimated, but it is what it is. But we are hoping that everybody concerned is taking it very seriously.
So, Prof, the big question will be, what is it in that region and that area that makes the terrorist groups will have ease of access and literally incubate and become full-blown problem to all of us? Because that's where we start the conversation from, in terms of culture, in terms of religion and all of these things. What is it in the area that is really enticing for them to come through and begin to make this strong inroads and impression?
First and foremost is the porosity of the border. And we also have to remember the characteristics of the international border. It is artificial, made up by colonialism. In many places in this part of the country, you can see that the international boundary cuts through right across a settlement. So the ease of movement is there. These are routes that have been there historically. It is actually the border that meets the people. So that is one aspect. The other aspect, of course, is like everything in the border areas of Africa, that people move in and out, and they do not use approved routes. They use what we can call the bush paths and so on, which allow them access. And then, of course, there is the cultural proximity. Except for the dressing, except for language, which are distinct, you can easily blend into the population. The other thing we have to put into account is also some of the economic challenges in neighboring African countries. Climate change and so on is pushing these groups southwards, and of course, loose law enforcement allow them to move. So it's a combination of factors. And of course, this is a rich agricultural area. It has always been the food basket for many communities to the north of Nigeria. So as they are pushed by factors there, they are now pulled into Nigeria. And like I said, the nature of the border, we don't have natural barriers such as mountains, such as rivers, and so on. It's flat land. And so people can move easily. You don't need much logistics. Plus, the other thing is, I think also we don't have enough personnel to man the borders. It's an extensive border, and you need actually to send in troops that would man this border. Otherwise, people will come in the daytime, in the night, and so on. And like I said, when they come armed, fully armed with sophisticated weapons, villagers have no choice than to submit to them. And like I said, they employ terror, murder, their own version of law and order, and so on. But especially when villagers are not mad and the security agencies are not there or they are not adequate, it opens the room for all kinds of problems coming into the country.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to, talk us through what we can learn from the impact of the recent coup in Niger and how it perhaps infiltrated into neighboring Kebbi State and, brought us to where we are today, which is pretty much what the Director Defense Media Operations